Look, the big picture here is the EV market's continuing to boom as prices come down. And I think expect 30% year-over-year growth globally from 10.5 million units in 2022 to close to 14 million units this year. This means that almost 20% of all cars sold globally are EVs today. That's stunning.
We'll examine the likelihood that Tesla will reach a $10 trillion valuation by 2030, as well as the steps the automaker must take to get there. Tesla is one of the most shorted stocks in the market, and there are many Tesla bears out there. However, what's interesting is that many of these bears, including the ones who shot Tesla's stock, have had to pay the price for it today.
It's not just this one-off kind of weird EV brand luxury that is out there that people don't really think about. When people are starting to look at purchasing cars, they're starting online, first of all, because the dealer lots have disappointed them time and time again. And so they start online, they end up checking out Tesla. They see how affordable these cars are. This company is set to benefit in a really, really big way, not just from the EV boom. I think that Tesla has moved well past that and is just a really iconic, almost luxury brand that now a lot of people can get into for $40,000 or less, which is very impressive the way they've executed on this strategy.
You know, Andy, when I look at all the topics that we could talk about when we're looking at Tesla, we could talk about the Cybertruck, we can talk about the Tesla Semi, we can talk about the charging network, we can talk about autonomous driving, we can talk about green energy and energy storage, AI, robotics, the robo-taxi, all these names that we're talking about, and the other side always wants to talk about valuation, right? This is, this stock is overvalued. It's got valuation problems. And they also say the price is coming down. That could be margin problems. But I want your honest opinion. Is the street reading this wrong with the margins? I see Tesla pressing its advantage when it comes to margins because he's got room on margins to come down and almost strangle the other EV makers and still make plenty of money. And you see the numbers, you see the deliveries. People see that as desperation from them, lowering the prices. I think he has got a chokehold on these other companies and he's using it. Andy? Yeah,
we were on this show with you guys, I think, just a few months ago talking about this. And I tried to make the case at that time that this is a strategic move. This is not a move out of desperation. We see it in the data time and time again that demand for Tesla vehicles is very, very high.
One of the numerous reasons to hold stock in this contentious, but incredibly reliable electric vehicle manufacturer is that Tesla is one of the most highly valued automakers in the world. For specialists like Merz, trends in energy firms, the status of the market and potential future growth all offer insight and analysis to assist you navigate the investment landscape. Cathie Wood, even Alexandra Merz. And Dan Ives, the future will be significantly shaped by the impact of electric vehicles on energy, transportation, and job creation. This is where things start to get interesting with Tesla's growth narrative. While it's unclear what the future holds, we believe Tesla will eventually be a force to be reckoned with a valuation in the millions and a stock price of up to $1,000. In this video, we'll go over several market advantages of Tesla as well as our reasons for believing the automaker will make history.
Tesla's Model Y is another major story that we're tracking here this morning. The Model Y reportedly getting a makeover. The EV maker is building out a new version of its Model Y in its Shanghai plant, with production kicking off as soon as mid-2024, according to a new report from Bloomberg. Yahoo Finance senior reporter Pras Subramanian has some of the details on this one. Hey, Pras.
Hey, how you doing? So basically, we heard about this back in March, that they were planning to revamp the Model Y. It was called Project Juniper. Now, the Bloomberg report today does not mention that code name, but it seems as though this project is back on track for mid-2024. They had to stop the factory for a couple times to actually revamp it, right, to make this thing. But I'm kind of curious about why we haven't. So first of all, the Model 3 has been revamped, and it's out in China and other markets, but we haven't gotten that yet.
Do they have nice interiors, Pras? Are they going to get any better, higher quality? Because they're kind of dumpy.
Yeah. Dumping? I would say that they're definitely minimalist, right? That's probably the way we'd want to refer to it as. But they're doing stuff like adding ambient lighting.
That's kind of cool. That's cool. That's quick.
A lot of cars have ambient lighting now, right? Even like base cars have that. So it's kind of like maybe a little too late. Look, the Model Y is a great car. It's a best-selling car potentially in the world this year. Tesla needs to do these little slight tweaks to make it a bit more competitive with the space, right? So I see why they're doing this, but I'm kind of curious. When is that going to come to the U.S.? Because we haven't seen the updated Model 3 yet in the U.S.
And it's a touchscreen. It's a giant touchscreen on an interior product.
Yeah, I will say I've driven the Model Y recently. I rented it from Hertz because they don't allow press to drive those cars, and I found it to be actually a very good product compared to the other EV offerings.
You know, that ambient lighting hits a little bit different, and the screen as well. I mean, you might as well feel like you're in Apple iTunes visualizer mode once you hit that ludicrous mode within that Tesla as well. So let's not hate on the ambient lighting out here.
Okay, fine. Bullish on ambient lighting, but Praz, also BYD out with some news today, and really it's hard to imagine you're on a highway, high-speed highway, and you're going to see driverless cars, but that time may be now.
Yeah, I mean, in BYD in particular as well, with Tesla, they're working on their self-driving software there. But you mentioned BYD, they're probably going to pass Tesla in all electric car sales for the first time ever. Tesla probably going to deliver around 480,000 this quarter. The thinking is that BYD might make around 500,000 this quarter, passing for the first time, not for the year, but for the quarter. Kind of a big deal there because in China that's a huge market for them, and they sell 6 cars below the cost of a.
As enthusiasts of Tesla, we are well aware of the stock's long-term character, and like every other Tesla fanboy, we enjoy learning about the company's development. Growth in the market and innovation have an impact on the stock price and long-term investment plan. One of the hot topics in the investment community right now is Tesla, and how its unwavering pursuit of innovation has been the key to its success. Many analysts agree that Tesla's dedication to new technologies will propel the automaker to new heights over the next 10 years. Hi everyone, happy return to Savvy Tesla. The world is shifting towards sustainable energy, and Tesla is leading the charge in this revolution. Over the next 10 years, as the company expands and enters new markets, it will continue to expand globally. While it is impossible to predict the future, expert analysis offers valuable information, and these insights suggest that Tesla's 2030 vision is still full of possibilities that could have a significant impact on the world before we continue. So if you enjoy this kind of content, hit the like button, subscribe, and enable post notifications to stay up to date on everything according to reports. Tesla has developed from a small automaker to a business with scale, volume, and tremendous pricing possibilities in the raw material production sector. According to analysts such as Alexandra, Tesla is expected to build 20 million vehicles by 2033. Additionally, some proponents of Tesla have estimated that the company will make between $10 billion and $1 billion this year, which would be the biggest in the past 10 years. Given the enormous demand for Ives, Tesla, and the expansion of the automobiles, it may pick up speed.
EVs are superior in almost every way to ICE vehicles, so we should really see adoption hit the S-curve. Now, in terms of what the outlook is for 2024, the last conference call Tesla had was one of the most morbid I've ever heard, and I've been covering the stock for a long time. And what that did was it resulted in estimates for next year, for 2024, coming down. So Tesla's always had this aspirational goal of growing its units by 50% a year. The good news is that now consensus is about 20%. So people have already factored in this reduction in an outlook for 2024. So we'll see what they have to say about demand. We're at about a little bit less than 2.3 million units. The street's about a little bit less than 2.2, and we'll see where they end up. But ultimately, what people are looking to is not what happened this year, or might not even happen next year. It's the earnings growth outlook for 2025 and beyond. And we're close to $10 in earnings in 2025, probably more than that in 2026 and 2027, hopefully. And what we assume is obviously a lot of unit growth, but also a return to mid-20s gross margin. And over time, we think that margin has significant upside as they upsell full self-driving software to all the vehicles that are out there in the marketplace.
George, when you talk to investors, is there a subset that say, George, we appreciate your bullish take, we get it, we like what Tesla's working on, but we are not real fans of Elon Musk and how he has just come out here and on various social issues, and we are concerned about how this company might fare over the next few years because of what Musk does with X, SpaceX, whatever is the case. What do you tell them right now? Well,
so he is without a doubt a controversial figure. and says some things people don't like and says other things that people do like. But that hasn't changed in over 10 years. I recall, when people thought the company was going to go bankrupt in the late 2010s, he gave interviews where, he cried to a reporter. He smoked marijuana on the Joe Rogan podcast. So this ain't new news. He's who you have to take in to invest in Tesla stock. And thankfully, he's done an incredible job. I mean, he's being compared to Steve Jobs, right? And he's probably the tech titan of the last century. So look, people know who you're dealing with when you invest in Tesla. It's not new news. He's all over the place. We're fans, but that's for us to do. Ultimately, what matters with stocks, what matters is earnings growth. And we think there's a lot of earnings growth ahead for the company.
Even within a visionary leadership team, you still need realism as well at the end of the day, right, George? And so in terms of the targets that Tesla has really had to answer questions for, and quite frankly, on some of the both model side and even delivery of targets that they've set forward for the amount of vehicles that they might produce one day, they've missed on some of those targets. So for the bull perspective here, where do you still have to grapple with the missing of targets that Tesla continues to showcase?
Look, they've missed some near-term targets throughout the history of the company, without a doubt. They've actually beat some too. But when Elon Musk talks, when he's giving his goals to the world,